lot of people look at what Trump and all them do and they don't agree with it, but they feel like they're strong. They feel like they're doing what they want to do. And there's an element of respect that people have for just doing what the fuck that you want to do. But Democrats always run scared as a whole, not individuals. We know the people who are fighters, but
As a
I just
collective,
think
yeah.
I just think that ultimately, okay, whatever. I wouldn't have expected different from these particular people anyway. Now, if you had Jasmine Crockett or some Gabe Amo or somebody like that voting against him, then I might have to be like, what the hell is that about?
You know the reason why I'm concerned about it, and on its surface it doesn't matter, right? Because it's just performative. I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm concerned that this is. I mean, we're only 40 some days in. I'm concerned that this is going to go a step further to push certain Democrats out of Congress. That's what
Yeah.
I'm concerned about. And I know that sounds like, well, how would they do that? How does that work? I think the how in this era is that they just make it work.
Well, they have to,
That's my
you
concern.
have an impeachment process, and
Right.
Republicans have been very unsuccessful at impeaching
Yeah.
anybody. I mean, they tried to impeach Mayorkas in the last administration. They tried to impeach Biden.
Yeah.
I don't think that they have the capacity to really do it. I'm not saying that they won't try, but
Right.
I
That's what
but
I'm
I get what
saying.
you're saying. I get what you're saying.
The try, and listen, he has presidential immunity. The norms in Congress don't really matter anymore. Like I just think this is, we're only 40 some days in, and you're censuring somebody. You pulled him out of the House chambers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it feels to me like a sign of what they're planning to do for dissenting Democrats, especially black dissenting Democrats. So
Right.
I don't know. I mean I know I've just noticed with Trumpism or with dictators. Let's just take Trump out with dictators.
Mm-hmm.
Performative sometimes results in a full blown Broadway show.
Right.
So it makes me concerned. Now,
Yeah.
hopefully, it's just this bullshit, and we won't see anything crazy happen. But
I hope
yeah,
so, but also my thing that concerns me is I feel like we're getting into this purity test politics shit again
yeah,
about, you know, um nitpicking Democrats. I think that what Congressman Al Green did was brave and I applaud him. He is a warrior and he keep his foot on Donald Trump's neck at all
he's
times.
been
He
on your
does
show
not.
before.
He does. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he was one of my first guests
yeah,
actually.
yeah. Great guy,
Um
great interview too.
now I don't know if he would be able to pick me out of a lineup, honey, but he's been on my show. I appreciate
And
that.
he rocks that ponytail, baby.
Oh, he does. He's a smooth cat. He's very smooth. I
Yeah,
need to go see if I have that somewhere on my YouTube. Anywho,
yeah.
um, but so much of the dialogue, we talked about this a little bit last night, Clay, around what are Democrats gonna do? What are Democrats gonna do? And I'm just like, so you have people like, oh, well, Jasmine Crockett was sitting there and she didn't do nothing when Al Green got escorted out. Okay, well, she did walk out herself. There were a
Walk
lot
out
of
lady.
people that did stuff, but we are so focused on nitpicking how Democrats are supposed to perform in this time. And there are at least 50 stories that need to be covered in terms of, or 50 things that we can go after the Republicans on. So I feel like we talk about our coalition and why we don't have this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, then, leading up to the state of the joint address, it's like, what are Democrats going to do? They're going to stay home. And then the whole night, well, who did this? Who didn't do that? And then afterwards, well, who did it? And it's just like, why do we got all this smoke? I'm not. I know you. Not. It's not you, Clay. But I'm just saying the conversations that I'm hearing. They're online conversations, right? They're political pundit conversations. But why is all this emphasis on how Democrats are performing in response to Trump, as opposed to keeping our eye on the ball of what Trump and Musk and all of them are doing? They had some huge losses. They're still doing some really abominable things. We'll talk about some of those things. And I feel like we just, as Democrats, I know we want to see people fight. I know that we want to see a show of force, but we are, we are not forcefully behind our people. We're just push, 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 and nitpick, 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 So I don't know. I think there's valid critiques about it. I don't think that the Democrats are performing well. I'm talking about literally performance, their performance sucks as a whole. But I don't know. I don't like that it's so much of the conversation. And even supporting Al Green has turned into he's the litmus test for how other people should or should not have acted. I'm okay. Whatever y'all doing, whatever. Let's focus on Trump. That's my thing. What you think, Clay?
I feel different.
Okay.
I hear you, and I receive what you're saying. I've said it before. I just feel like we are in drastic, dangerous times.
Yes, we
Chris
are.
Murphy said our democracy has 6 months left.
Mm,
Um, I drag Republicans through and through. I try and bring up stories that are not just the rabbit hole, but that are
yeah.
really important stories.
Right. Right.
Um, but Reese, a unified show of strength is so important. And I think that, and I, this is why I'm not a politician.
Right.
I think that every Democrat should have said, fuck you, we're not going to that State of the Union.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not who the party is. That's who the Republican Party. If Speaker Mike Johnson, if Kamala Harris was president
Oh, he would
and
have
Speaker
acted
Mike
ass.
Johnson told his crew, not one of you show up to her joint address, what would they do? What would they do? They would say, yes, sir. I'm not going to be there. Not one of them would show up. If Trump got on the call and said, I'm still filing lawsuits, she didn't win this, she didn't win that, I don't want any of you to be at her joint address because Hakeem Jeffries invited her there. She is not the legitimate president.
Uh-huh.
Every single one of them would have said, we will not be in the House chambers.
Yeah.
And for me, yo, I say be anxious for nothing. I stand in that. Don't get caught up in the chaos. I stand in that.
Mm-hmm.
But the clock is ticking. Tick
That's
tock, tick
true.
tock, tick tock.
That's true.
And so I would have loved for them to all say, no, this man is firing federal workers. This man has made the friendly skies less safe. This man is going to lie incessantly. There is no point in me being there. Let's be unified as a party and not show up. So for me, if we only have a year left, if we have 2 years left, now maybe we're wrong. Maybe a year from now, Reese will be like, oh, we're being hyperbolic. I would love to be wrong.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
what it appears, Reese, when the Democrats go on legacy media and babble, that they know how bad it is, that they know
Yeah.
something even that we don't know.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen them come together and
But come
collectively
together
and said
and
no.
do. I mean, it kind of feels like Kamala didn't say America is a racist country. Like, okay, so the Democrats stay home. Okay. And
Maybe stay home and have their own. I mean, we can't do all the work for them, but stay home
yeah.
and have their own state of the Democrats. I don't know, like we did state of the people,
Right,
Angela
right.
Ryan and others, y'all got tons of money. Y'all always ask us for freaking $5, $10 here or there. I don't know. Do
You know
something
how I feel
creative. I
about
don't know.
that.
I don't know. Do something like it. Just showing up there with your whiteboard. It's just I don't know if it's this. My only example is how I've seen democracies fall in other countries.
Right.
And part of the reasons why they fell is because the opposition party, in a good way, uh, was not unified until it was too late.
Right. 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 Right.
So I don't know, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong, Reese, and I get your perspective too.
I'm
Well,
not.
what would that have looked like?
Yeah.
I understand, but if it's gonna be this bad, don't tell me in 6 months shit's falling apart.
Yeah.
What did James Baldwin say? I can't believe what you say because I see what you do.
Exactly. Yes.
So I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Um And who knows what that would have looked like if, for the first time in American history, since we've had State of the Unions or a joint address, maybe that would have did something. Make you do something different, you get different results. If every single person said, "I won't be there," I don't know.
Well, for the first time in
I
history,
could be
we
wrong.
had a person who was impeached twice, convicted of 34 felonies,
Well,
uh, owes how many hundreds of millions of dollars in civil fines as the president, and didn't nobody give a shit. So,
well,
I feel you. I honor the frustration. I am not saying that it's not valid. I'm 100%
yeah.
not saying that. I
I
100%
hear
get
what
it.
you're saying too.
I guess for me, it's baked into the cake that that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. So I'm like, okay, let's operate from a state
So it
of,
was a fantasy. It was a
yeah.
fantasy.
I'm like, let's operate from a state of like, okay,
You're
we're
like,
not
well,
gonna all get on the
what's
same
that
page.
mean? No, baby. What was that meme? Have you seen that meme before? You've seen it.
No,
Oh,
no.
you've seen it. I know you have. It's from one of the housewives or Married to Medicines when she's like, "No, baby, no." Oh my gosh, I know you've seen it. I'll
I
send it
gotta
to you.
look that up. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
okay, look, yeah, would that be nice? Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. But that's not the environment that we're in.